Hello, I am Ringroo.
And I'm Graham.
Here today with another run from the Brain Rot tournament. We're on Hell in a very small place, and Hugh is taking part in this Hellish tournament today, Graham.
So today, Rangru, in the red, we have Krot playing as armored Eurocore, or not Eurocore, excuse me, Eastern Bloc. And then on the left, in the blue, we have General de Corps d'Armée Boulanger playing as Red Dragon Mechanized.
Indeed, so quite an interesting matchup, armored on mech. I mean, Krot's gonna have a pretty hard time on this map, I think, just because it's a pretty infantry-heavy map. It doesn't have a whole lot of infantry.
Yeah, I imagine, and we're seeing it play out this way. Krot's not going to even contest Bravo. It's literally pointless for him. We are in the Brain Rot tournament once again, so these decks are cancerous. But actually, General Boulanger's deck is pretty. I wouldn't say it's great, right? But it's kind of normal. I mean, to an extent, it's just pure mechanized infantry spam backed up with some armor, some mortars, and then a pretty decent air force.
Yeah, it's like actually relatively mixed. You got the Mi-25s, good tank destroyers. It's just the infantry is just regular rifle spam, but that's going to be more than fine against someone who doesn't even have infantry.
Yeah, he knows because he only has one card of the Czech BMP infantry. So then he does obviously have some of the standoff guys, and then two cards of Strellas. But yeah, it's gonna be hard for Krot on this. Like you said, Rang, specifically this map. It's very infantry focused for the most part. And I was talking about this to you beforehand, but even with the modernists, we could see it. We've seen super heavies just win games before, but there's not even a mortar to smoke them.
No, he's going to have a very hard time maneuvering out about it. I don't think there's a whole lot of super scary anti-tank on Boulanger's side, so...
That means we're gonna got smacked there by the PGZ-95.
Yeah, almost
like,
getting shot down.
Oh, because he also has the Hawa song, the VTTs, which have the what is that, the Igla copy? I think the Chinese Igla copy. Yeah.
Like good combo. Also in the Delta spawn, we have Run Truck. Hope and a Dream. He's trying to make his way and spot the CV.
And what's funny is because, obviously there's nothing in that truck there, but if you're General Boulanger, you don't know that, right? And then he is trying to spot it because he does have a Mista. So if he could spot it without his own truck being detected, it'd actually be pretty easy for him to get a snipe on the CV. But the Mi-25 clearly, General Boulanger knows what's up. He's no amateur here. Two regulars, I would say, on the channel, Rang.
Yeah.
Throwing down here on this Brain Rot tourney once again. As we see the T-72 M1 push and kind of going on here in the middle.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting area to push the T-72s. Getting them towards that lake area does give you pretty good lines of fire. But the problem is, of course, he's always trying to push through the forest. Fortunately for him, he does have infantry advantage right now. So he could actually make his way through and try to get some territory. There's going to be about whether those T-72s can provide that Gucci fire support.
A big thing as well, going against both the Polken shoes, however you pronounce them, and the base Zanshi, is they have, 14 AP, I believe, in all of them? So these C-72s could be probably what we say really Gucci fire support in these close-range engagements. Now, these UTQ 62Gs are going to go ahead and engage here. You're going to see the C-72s try and gang up on them, which is what they're doing. The one does go down, because I believe that's the 60-point one, yep. Or the Boulanger just getting annihilated right there.
Yeah, and the Tunguska managing to shoot down an aircraft before one of them does get seeded. So he's falling back. The Motostrackley's not really having enough fire support to make out much of an impact. Once again, all down to the T-72s in this case, and he's gonna need more of them.
Yeah, I mean, depending on how this engagement goes, he should be able to get himself up a little bit of a foothold. It's very tenuous, right? Oh yeah, Motostrackley just getting gunned down over there by the autocannon from one of the Polka. How do you pronounce that? Boulanger? Boulanger?
Krang Chong Chong?
I was thinking the infantry.
Oh.
Boulanger.
Bongshu?
Bongshu?
Bless you?
Yeah, house. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
More T-72s being called in for Krot, and that's really the move, right? He has to leverage that medium tank firepower. Just use that to kind of abuse the infantry blobs. They're going to come out here. We see the ZTK. If he can get a snipe on that as well, it'd be good for him. Motostrackley kind of pushing up. Though I would say if you're Krot, you want to be careful trading out too much of your infantry, because he only has the one card of Motostrackley, and then it's off to the standoff infantry. So he's going to need to be kind of careful. Though we have seen Rang standoff infantry in this tournament just probably overperform I ever would have imagined. They can. It's pretty crazy when there's nothing good, the kind of damage they can do.
Yeah, just especially up north, a few of those ATS teams would do a pretty good job just defending Bravo, and especially in more of the like mid-range open areas. I mean, bloody automatic grenade launchers are honestly
Yeah.
probably one of the scariest weapons ever invented.
Yeah, besides that, they look really cool. They sound really cool when they go off, but I would not want to be anywhere near one. But then again, like, Rank, Boulanger's got a lot of units up north. Excuse me. Like, they're quite sizable force here. I mean, I don't think he's going to try and cross the river, but I'm kind of curious what his logic is. Oh, he might. Is he going to do a little river crossing action? We have APCs in the water.
Yeah, we do. He's moving all of his troops. I mean, Bravo's essentially locked down for him. You know, you get some band tanks in there, and he's pretty much good to go. But maybe he's going to try to do that. CV She's try to get into Alpha. Is that one BMP2? He's going to have to really hold the line here.
Yeah, we see the autocannon going up, going off here on these these transports. Most likely going to go and clean them up as well. I mean, there's a ton of infantry, but yeah, I don't know. I don't see this really working.
Oh.
It's too easy to lock it down.
Anti-tank. I mean, okay, the VTTs do have the Maltuka copy at least, but
Yeah.
that's really... Oh, and then, okay. Oh yeah, that's all he really has. I thought the PGZ was something, but no, it's anti-air.
The BMP2 cannot hit that APC to save his life. That gunner needs to get his eyes checked. Okay, there he goes. He finally gets it. So 4 more T-72Ms have been called out. They're going towards the middle here. It kind of looks like Krot might be pivoting Rang towards Foxtrot. Or, okay, maybe not. I think they're going to go up the road there, but they're going to keep on driving here.
Mm-hmm.
Actually curious to see where he's putting them here. There is an Mi-25. I mean, obviously, it's not the greatest threat to the T-72s with its ATGM capability, but it is something. And there is no AA anywhere near these T-72s right now.
Yeah, he is really mashing up at Ravlard's T-72 force, and geographically speaking, the Foxtrot Charlie push is really the ideal location for the Iron Curtain to start crashing down on this Red Dragon mechanized plane. Yeah, he's also bringing in another Tunguska to provide some anti-aircraft support. Very good call-in. All he needs is probably just a couple more Strackley, a recon unit or two, and he could make some pretty easy work in Foxtrot.
I think so too. I mean, he doesn't even need because he's going for the medium spam with the T-72s. And I think that's a really smart move. He can completely break open Foxtrot. There's nothing really standing in his way. But it looks like he wants to take the small forest, that separates Foxtrot and the river canal right there. I'm not sure what the logic is for that, or maybe he's just staging. But he keeps driving these T-72s over there.
Yeah, it makes sense, because usually just pushing down the hill from Foxtrot can be dangerous, as stuff from the forest can shoot into you. But his problem is stuff into Bravo could shoot into him, mainly ATGMs, if he tries to push up here. Fortunately, he there's no ban tanks here to ban his tanks out of the battlefield, but there's always that possibility, and oh yeah, some of them are actually being brought up right now.
Yeah, I mean, he does. It's not like Boulanger doesn't have armor or vehicles that can deal with, medium tank spam. Obviously, Krot has a ton of them, but it feels like a kind of a missed opportunity here by Krot. I mean, obviously we have the God Vision, but Foxtrot is really vulnerable here, and he could have. I mean, one ATGM team isn't going to stop him. But these M1s actually pushing against these Zanshis, and they're going to have a hard time dealing with the M1s. Yeah. M1's just going to go ahead and win that straight up.
Heavy armor definitely helping out here, but it definitely feels like Krot needs to be much more aggressive. I mean, he has the forces to do that, but just due to, how he has to pretty much give up Bravo, you need to try to, 100% secure even one of the two other middle sectors Foxtrot will go, and he's kind of just giving Array an opportunity right now, because against mech, it's just going to be infantry spam.
Right, it almost feels like he's a little indecisive. Like when we're looking at, because once again, 2 more T-72s are being transferred up from the north back down south. But that's the 3rd time he's driven these tanks backwards and back up and down that road. Like they're learning how to drive, right? They're going on a little test. But he's bringing more armor here, and really, Rang, he could pick either direction and win the point right now. Like either one he could choose, and he has the firepower to withstand some losses, take ground, and hold it. But like you said, you don't want to give mech time to set up, because the longer the game goes on, we know where that goes. Like, we know how much infantry is going to be on the field by the end of the 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's actually quite an interesting setup, because, Boulanger, you know, he banked everything into Bravo, so the rest of the map is pretty poorly defended on his end here. So, you know, it's just once again comes down to game feel, game momentum. You know, Krot's just he's kind of a little bit all over the place. I really just want to see him, you know, attack Iron Curtain style T-72s across the Folder Gap.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that either point he picks would be fine, but as we already see, reinforcements are coming into golf, even with the T-72s trading relatively well down there. We're gonna have Chahoma Force. I mean, obviously they aren't the greatest tank in the world, but they're comparable to the ones he has on the field right now. And in ZTQ, infantry support on a defensive position, because General Boulanger really doesn't need to be that aggressive because he has Bravo. He has a completely uncontested point on this, what it mainly becomes 1-point sector map.
Yeah, and he just neutralized both Foxtrot and Gove,
Yep.
and that's a pretty easy defense from point forward here. And they, like you said, the John Mahal the whole force. I know.
The hose.
They're going to be pretty damn good in the defense, even if they trade run to run against T-72s. That slows down the T-72s, and really, it's all down to T-72s for Krot.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not like, I mean, like, you know, we said a little earlier, General Boulanger's deck isn't that bad. You know, is it the greatest deck you've ever seen or someone I expect of his caliber to build? No, obviously. But we're playing we're casting the Brain Rot Tournament. If you didn't hear it the first million times we've said it over the past month. And this isn't really rotting my brain.
No, it's just a little migraine.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even say migraine. You know, it's kind of like a slight hangover. You know, you just drink a little bit too much last night, but you didn't get too crazy, so you just wake up and you pound another beer to get rid of the hangover. That's what I feel like we're doing here right now.
Then you go immediately to work.
Yes, right into work. You just pound that thing and you just go straight to the JOB. Never done that before. Now we do see Krot is massing some more armor once again, just around Foxtrot, as he has capped it with his C-72 command tank, while at the same time General Boulanger playing some more shenanigans up there past Bravo on the flank. I have a feeling he's just trying to get some value out of the units he put there, and anything that he can get Krot to spend on holding it is worthwhile.
Yeah, because you see Krot has spent a little bit getting the standoff infantry teams and some more troops up there just to defend the point, having to actually pull back to BMT2 now, because he's completely out of ammo, so...
Yeah, you don't see that very often.
No, you don't. It's usually blapped after it's shot like 30 shots.
Now, those Warno BMP2s, Rangru.
Oh. Different game.
Different game entirely. I was going to say something mean, but I won't. But, one thing I'm curious about, maybe Krot's playing off his point lead. He does have 165 to 0 to Boulanger. You know, that is something that shouldn't be discounted. And on this map, that can be a sizable lead. But that doesn't really seem like it fits with all the Krot games we've casted. Especially as an armor division, right, Rang? Like, you don't think of an armor division as a defensive-oriented gameplay style. Like, typically, highly aggressive, get those tanks up front, soak damage, trade out, use the super heavies to pick off the other elite units. It just kind of seems like, I don't know, it seems very slow paced for someone that I'd expected to be more of like you say, like Iron Curtain, that thing.
Yeah, I think I kind of get it as well, because it is very high risk, high reward, like yeeting all the T-72s to the front. Oh, MiG-29's coming in up north, just snipe behind.
Yeah, and these are the Gucci East German MiG-29s with them sexy R-77s.
God, I wish I had the R-73s in War Thunder, man.
Yeah, War Thunder was a lot of things.
Yes. Oh, it's actually 27s now in the field as well, from the opposite side, too. Trying to maintain air supremacy here.
Yeah, and he did have one SC-27 out earlier with the Fabao, when they picked off the original Tunguska. So both players do have two fighters. Now, the SC-27 isn't quite as good as I think as the Easter and MiG-29. The R-77 is a really big advantage, but there's only two of them equipped to each plane, and he actually has 4 SC-27 SK. So a lot of times we've seen these, the air battles Rang, is that the raw amount you have does matter. So check MiG-29 going in, some thermobaric, munitions drop, and actually missed a little bit, but it's napalm. And here they go. The MiG-29s are diving in right here, going to get 2 kills, and they clean up both of them. Wow, with no damage to either of them. That's what happens when you bring trained SU-27s against the big 29s, and wow, cleaned it in half.
That's just that was a good trade. That wasn't even a trade. That was a massacre.
That was a dogfight right there, and the East Germans just put the beat down on their Chinese counterparts.
I can hear like the DDR synth wave coming from the cockpit.
Absolutely, just blaring right now through my, just injected in my veins, please. We do see the Mi-25 diving in here, but there is a Tunguska. You see, using its IR missile, and now that 30 mil has been turned right on, and it's just shredding those Mi-20. Oh my god, it's annihilated. And good radar micro because the Fabau's coming in hot after the Mi-25s.
Yeah, I'm seeing the band tanks gonna cause a little bit of havoc and probably deter those T-72s from pushing up too close.
This is the
Frankfurt
time.
can tank it.
This is the time if you're Krot. You've waited, you baited him into an air engagement, you decisively won the air engagement, you took out multiple helicopters and killed some vehicles. It's time to send these bad boys in.
So that was a pretty damn good trade. And then, like, Foxtrot is still, even Gove, aren't that heavily defended. Like, if he was to send the T-72, especially in Foxtrot, he would do a bloody good job here.
Yeah, I agree with you. Checkmate 29's also out on the field, arguably one of the best bombers in the entire game, and now he really doesn't have to worry about that much, air firepower coming out of Boulanger. Now, Boulanger does have 4 S-27, so 2 left, but I can't imagine he's going to be that aggressive with them again.
Yeah, he's already got 1 being brought in up north through just by himself. He's getting pretty deep. I mean, I'm just expecting, the MiG-29's coming in. They smell blood.
Now, they are going to fly right by the PGZ, but I think they're just out of range there. You see the MiG-29s with their R-77s opening up, getting hits right there. Misses by the S-27, and once again, no hits. Wow, just annihilation by the Luftwaffe.
Yeah, good God.
Actually, I don't think never mind.
It's an Air Force.
Yeah, it is an Air Force. It works out.
I do like how over back in Delta, that truck is actually still alive. He's just like, hey, I'm just gonna chill over here in the battlefield. It'd be quite funny if he was to try and get the CV spot at least. I don't think he has anything to do any CV sniping. But as you can see, Delta has no base defense. Yeah, he does have the Mister.
Yeah, I mean, he legitimately could. Like, if he just drove the truck in there and bought a Mista, he 100% could get the snipe if he was quick with it. But he seems very Krot. I think we keep waiting, Rang, for the steel wall, the Iron Curtain of T-72s to just come rushing down the hill there. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think that we're almost halfway into this game now, and it seems to me Krot has decided that the best way for him to win is force Boulanger to be aggressive. He has the 160 point lead, basically, and I think he's kind of content right now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's just trying to get these effective trades, not lose too many T-72s, and he does have a very good defensive line, really using that hill. And he's not even sitting on top of the hill, he's sitting behind the hill, so he can just kind of like move his tanks back and forth to defend.
He has interior lines of reinforcement and communication back there. So his T-72s can basically respond to any of the directions as he's kind of formed, like you said, that defensive perimeter around the Foxtrot Hill, which allows him to contest both Golf, Foxtrot, and then secure his right flank up there. Boulanger is going to have a... I mean, the problem is that once Boulanger caps Golf, Foxtrot, which I think he's kind of slacked on, the point tick will start to be in his favor. Like, he will start accruing value. 4 more T-72s, M's being called out here by Boulanger, along with Chonom 4s. Now you got me mispronouncing it for Boulanger.
And we're seeing some attempted CV snipes here on the T-72 CV from the heavy mortars, so... And Krot, he only has really, like, tank CVs, of course, because it's the T-72 meme deck. So you're going to have a hard time keeping that CV hidden in Gulf. And it is a tank CV, but it will eventually die just due to mortar fire here. And if, Foxtrot gets neutralized and then the Gulf CV gets pushed back, that's a nice little +2 for Boulanger. And he can very easily catch up in 20 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the big thing, people always, I think, underestimate how fast you can actually gain a tick in Wargame Red Dragon. Like, even a 1-point tick, you know, you let that go long enough, you will catch a 100, 150 point lead. It's completely possible. So it's not like, you know, with halfway into this game that Boulanger's remotely in trouble. It's 160 points. It really is nothing. Now, we have 7 or 8 minutes left. Different story.
You can just easily defend here. I believe he does have that CV coming in for Foxtrot now.
The smoke from the Katsu.
Yep.
More T72 M's being called out.
Okay, there's the CV into Foxtrot now. Yeah, it's just so many. I just want to. Come on, Krot. Give us the T72 Rust. Turn on the Iron Curtain. Or Red. No. Hell March. That's the song.
I don't know what you're trying to say, Rangaroo. I'm just going to keep on trucking. But I will say that it does look interesting that so Krot, as he accumulates more and more armored firepower here, he's using as a Katsuya to try and smoke off his tank CV inside of Golf. Though, like you said, Rang, like it's only a matter of time for the mortars to kill that thing. Like it's crazy actually how fast 4 120mm mortars will whittle down the HP of that tank. So he's going to be suffering a +2 here pretty soon.
Yeah, he can just keep putting that pressure on the T72, which is almost dead, down to 4 HP. It's a logistics vehicle coming on in, but that just kind of only slows down the inevitable. He has no... Well, I guess he could try to do counter battery fire, but...
B5 it.
Mm-hmm.
He can B5 the 72.
Bomb it. Nuke it.
Nuke it from orbit.
Yes.
With space lasers.
Yes.
Yeah. We do see more BMP2s being called out. I mean, the rest of the map is static, right? There's really nothing going on in this game right now. Both sides are calling out more units, and they're shooting artillery at each other in a nice little grid square.
Yes. I think we can take us to a ×2 at 1755.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Because, no, you're right. It is just a pretty static match.
I mean, look at all the T72s being accumulated here. There's 3 more being bought up. So, I mean, he's going to have to send them. Like, it's just... I mean, even now, I think he still could probably break Foxtrot. I think if he sent them all forward right now, or Golf, either direction, I think he could completely break the position.
Yeah, I mean, infantry rocket launchers aren't that scary. There's not that many tanks. He has the anti-aircraft and air superiority advantage.
Right.
Like, it's not so much wanting to see T-72s push up Red Dawn style. He has to.
I do want to see. It's like Red Storm Rising style Rangaroo. That's what I want to see. I just want to see him go on hot. I mean, oh, there's the Mista. So the Mista has been bought out. I was curious if he would grab it. I mean, so Boulanger now has that consistent +1, and you can see on the points he's already at the 45. Like, Krot is now losing this game. He has to do something to regain the momentum, and it's going to be an armored push. I think that's literally his only option here. But look at that, a bunch of cheap Chinese tanks being called out here. Virgil and Boulanger. If he gets CQC with them, I think that's going to be fine. Mixing some Chomahos and the ZTQs. Yeah, the Mista trying to snipe the mortars, but one Mista isn't going to... You need both. You need 2 of them firing, which obviously he doesn't have.
He does not. Yeah, it's just so ZTS is such good in the defense. They will die to a stiff breeze, but one hit from that 17 AP cannon, that slows down the T-72 push, and it's just about buying time. It's not so much, you know, getting all the kills.
Yeah, now you see the mortars hitting the, you know, where the resupply vehicle is, healing up and resupplying those T-72s. Okay, so Rang, it looks like we're starting to get a little bit of some action here. It's a Tatra truck driving down the road. He gets sniped by a Zhanchi 85. You know, none of the tanks fired, none of the HGMs fired. Oh, what's the MiG-29 hitting? Oh, it's napalming the Zhanchi. Oh, pour one out for the homies right there.
Here we go. Finally, T-72's pushing up. Not all of them, but a decent chunk. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, they are sending it right now. It's like the charge of the light brigade, except they're armored. T-72 is going in here. ATGM's opening up. Chomaho trying to hit them on the road. I think he needs to get off the road a little bit here. I mean, a B5 would just end this push. They're going to keep going. There's no AA really to the Tunguska in the back. But raw numbers here are going to brute their way forward. Though on the backside, Rang, a bunch of tanks coming in.
Yeah, and just you've seen that initial defense as all those ZTS has been brought
Oh,
in. Oh,
nice
good
native pump drop.
nape. Smoke
Very
on the
good
water. Good God.
Yeah, very good. Now reinforcing T-72s. A bunch more also bought up to keep up momentum as well. It's an armored slugfest here in Foxtrot. T-72s try and break through the Choma Hose, holding on valiantly, though, as the CV from Boulanger dipping, Ring.
There we go. It's exactly the pressure he needs. It's a costly push, but bro, he's been banking all match for us. So he can afford to lose some T-72s, gets a CV site, gets a Choma Hose.
Yeah, and now he has a breakthrough here, and he's got more reinforcements coming up. If he applies a little more pressure here, Boulanger could have a wide open flank. Yeah, and he actually does. These T-72s have broken through the Fola gap, and they are in the rear line.
Oh my God, this is what I want to see. This is hot. This is hot.
Why do we take so long to get here? Yeah, these Zanchi 85s, they will not be able to stop that push. Sure, they can buy themselves a little bit of time, but oh yeah, and that's the game.
That's the game. Krot took him a while. But he got the victory, and by God, that KD is nasty.
Yeah, Krot was just you know what he was? He was just teasing us. He knew what we wanted to see. The people wanted to see it, and it just took him a long time to get it, get there.
Yeah, I was hot at the end, just seeing all those T-72s going, and it worked. If he did it earlier, he could have run the match earlier. But I guess in the end of the day, you can't really complain too much. He won the match.
No, absolutely. Yeah. From his perspective, he wasn't rushing. He wasn't slow whatsoever. Now, from the viewer perspective, that wanted to see that hot T-72 action, it was a little slow.
Yes. Well, I'm actually quite surprised I don't know. I guess on one hand, that Red Dragon deck is pretty standard and it's not that brain rotty. But the lack of heavy AT really screws him over against a T-72 spam deck like that.
But I feel like the biggest thing that hurt Boulanger was the air loss. Like, the loss in air, because he has tools that can deal with, beyond just... So he does have a lot of bombers, something nice that he has. But his tanks aren't like... It's not like it was the Moderna that beat him, right? Oh. It was the T-72M that beat him. He does have Choma Hose. He has Zichikis, and obviously in a stand-up straight fight, they're going to suffer a little bit. But I don't know. I think he could have. I think a couple different decisions by General Boulanger there, and he wins that game. It just felt like it felt like the momentum really shifted when the East German Air Force just put the beat down on those Su-27s.
Yeah, like you said before, if the B5 came in, it wouldn't have been good in the outpost because he didn't have a supremacy. Would have shut down that T-72 push, the end and and. He's got like the other bombers as well, which are also pretty cheap. Just rain down the air power. It's a nice sort of choke point, and then you just use all the ATGMs from the band tanks and the ZTSs to buy time. But he just didn't. He kind of brought his stuff up in raves. He couldn't have like a good initial defense line in the center.
No, absolutely, and it was a really interesting game to watch. It did get really slow at one portion of it. Obviously, when Rangru hits the times too, everybody knows it's gotten a little slow there. But take out like probably the 3 minutes of build up, and you get the end. It was actually a pretty interesting game to watch. And Boulanger, I thought, was in the driver's seat for a while, but Krot just, I should never second guess him. We cast him so often on this channel. I feel like him and MBK might as well almost run the channel, or at least run the Wargame cast.
The top tier guys to cast.
Yes.
Yes. But no, that was a good match. I quite enjoyed it. Do you have anything else to say?
No, it was good. I feel like I didn't lose too many brain cells, so I take it as a big dub.
Yeah. And before you lose any more, leave it off. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. And as usual, please just take it easy.